So now you want to take this quiz?
Yeah, totally. Totally. I can't wait. Oh my God. Oh my God, this is beautiful. All right, Ben, do you want to take it simultaneously and then we'll each see which type of lawyer we should be?
Yep.
All right, there's a note at the top. Wait, do we need to read this email? Hold on. Hi, Ben and Nathan, huge fan of the show. I studied with the demon, actively listened to the show, and the application is now here. The application is now here.
Like she's in the process of applying.
Time to apply. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to get a better idea of what type of law interests me the most. So I turned to Google and found this free quiz kindly provided by the Law School Admission Council. 3 exclamation points.
Erin, what's going on?
I think it's tongue in cheek, man. She's a fan. So I think she gets our sense of humor. How generous! Exclamation point. Dripping with sarcasm. I thought you guys would get a laugh out of these questions, for they do not establish anything for me and just made me chuckle. Thank you for the advice and humor every Monday. Regards, Erin. Thank you, Erin, for listening. That's very nice of you.
Erin, I can tell you've been studying the LSAT because you just used the word for in place of because.
Yeah.
No one does that in real life.
No, and if you speak like that, you're going to sound kind of weird. So, okay. This quiz, note, there's a big note at the top. Note, think of this quiz as an exercise to help you pursue your own research about choosing a law career. The quiz is not a foolproof diagnostic scientific tool. It's just for fun! Exclamation point.
Gosh. Did they really think people are going to like do this and then say, I guess that's the world we live in?
Then they pretend to be like a scientific organization when the truth is they are a marketing company. I mean, just like law schools, by the way, we talked about this in class. Oh man, we did this one reading comp passage. Do you remember the reading comp passage about whether, essentially it's about whether law is real or not? It's like, is law an actual system of rules that makes sense? Or is it just this thing that has evolved over time and it's basically pseudoscience or dogma? You know, it's like a lot more like studying religion than it is like studying science.
Yeah.
And it was shocking, Ben, because the class does terribly on that passage. And I think the reason why they do terribly on the passage is that it's telling them something that they don't want to hear. I think there's this like cognitive dissonance where they're like, what do you mean? I'm going to get a doctorate. I'm going to be it's a scientific, the study of the law is, you know.
Yeah, the language of the law.
The language of the law and the history of the law and it's a, you know, living document and it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's like, well, no, actually, you'll figure this out once you go to law school. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's inherently political, and they have twisted these words to mean whatever they want them to mean at various times in history.
Did I tell you that I actually remember the moment in class, and I remember the class I was sitting in? I was in the back when I had this realization.
No, I like this.
What? No. So I studied econ, right, as undergrad.
Yeah,
so
me too. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's not like your hard science like physics, but it's still trying to find truth, right? It's like, okay, well, we're trying to figure out what is happening, even though we all kind of disagree about what is actually happening. We're trying to find it.
You have to study calculus in order to study economics. You do not have to study calculus in order to study the law. That's because econ is, you know, I mean, econ's a BS, right? It's a bachelor's of science, whereas a JD is not scientific in the slightest. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So, you know, you're trying to find truth, even though the models may not match reality. That's what the debate is about, right? Does your model match reality or my model match reality better? Anyways, I was sitting in class and I remember it was a smaller classroom. It probably had like 3 or 4, maybe 5 rows. And I was in the back row and the teacher was talking. I don't remember what about, but I just remember sitting there and I sat back and I said, wait a sec. All this time in school, like this is probably my first semester, maybe the beginning of my second, I was trying to find the answer. Like, what is the truth? What is the actual thing that the law should be? And I'm like, that's so stupid. That's not what we're looking for. We're just making an argument, and it's like whatever fits the times that you're in. And it's just constantly evolving. It's whatever argument you can make based on precedent, which is their attempt to make it scientific. But it's really just a means of persuasion. Like, can I couch my argument in the past more effectively than someone else, even though it didn't actually happen? And I think, I can't remember what that reading passage said, but I feel like they talk about, do they talk about precedent at all in that?
They talk about how you can't study the law as like, it's not a computer program. You have to also look at the history of the time. Here's what it meant in this history. And you have to realize that it never, even in any given state, does it make sense. It's always just kind of clunking along and being tweaked by political forces.
Yeah.
And it's not a scientific discipline. And the class does like horribly on that. By the way, I have a very similar story to yours, Ben. I was in a con law class and I had already decided, I was already tuned out. I mean, I was sitting in the back row, like working on marketing for my business that I had just started like a year before, right? And I was trying to get people to come to my LSAT class, and I was handwriting postcards that I mailed out to every law firm in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I filled out like 1,000. I mean, Are you
still doing those? Like, what happened?
Yeah, no, fortunately those days are behind me. But I was actually on the grind a little bit, because I was like, shit, I want to make my business go. So I was ignoring class essentially. And I was handwriting these postcards and sending them out. And, but it was con law. And one of my more earnest, colleagues in class was discouraged and like raised their hand and they were like, this all kind of just seems made up to me. I want your opinion. Is any of this real? That was the question.
Real.
to my professor of constitutional law. Is any of this real? And the professor goes, well, since I'm a professor of constitutional law, I kind of have to say it's real, don't I?
I have to continue the lie.
Yeah, I must continue my miserable existence. Anyway.
Wow, that's an interesting response, actually. I'd be surprised it would just own it. Like, like this is what we're trying to learn how judges think about the law. That's Ben, all.
This was all in the reading comprehension passage, Ben. You should reread it. It's good.
Yeah. Okay.
In the passage, it says, if we were to teach students the truth, if modern jurisprudence didn't lie to students about what the law actually is.
They'd lose faith in it or something? I think
they would be dispirited. It says that the student would be dispirited.
Yeah.
And the public would lose faith in the system.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's amazing that this passage made it onto the law school admission test. And it's not surprising that the students had such a bad time with the passage, because they're just like, wait, what now? You're telling me that modern law schools are going to lie to me about what the law is? It's all a big scam, Yeah. And I'm sitting there going like, no, for real, y'all. Like, if you have the potential to study science or math, or like, if you have the ability, if you have the chops to study like a scientific discipline, I really wish you would. If you're at all like me, if your brain works like my brain works, I think you'd be better off doing something based in data and science instead of just doing this like totally political made up thing.
Yeah. What's crazy too is that there actually is truth behind different laws. Like if in truth, in terms of like, you could assess laws and say, okay, which ones are better than others? Which ones are more effective at producing positive outcomes? But instead they don't acknowledge that. Instead they pretend that it's like this ironclad thing that's inherently the way it is. And so then there's no like open discussion about, well, did that law work better than this other one? Because then they'd actually have to grapple with that.
No, and they take diametrically opposed, they're like, oh no, I'm an originalist, but they're only an originalist on the issues where they want some particular
where they
outcome.
believe, that that's a better outcome. Why not just acknowledge that? Like, I'm trying to, okay, well, what's your actual outcome that you're seeing that you think would happen versus this other outcome? It's weird. Anyways.
I hated this so much. I mean, for all of our, econ, mathy type of listeners and students, if you decided that today's the day that you're going to quit your pursuit of law school, Ben and I would be it would hurt us financially. And we are both very happy if that's what happens. I mean, because we want you to be happy in life, we're not trying to, I have zero interest in trying to sell the dream. I'm not selling the dream, and the law schools are.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying don't be a lawyer. I'm not telling everybody not to be a lawyer. Some people certainly are cut out to be lawyers, but just make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. It's about power and politics and influence, not really about right and wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we do this quiz, Ben, and find out what type of lawyers we should be?
Well, thankfully, this quiz is just for fun.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay. So if the worst happened and I had to practice law, this is okay. My smartphone is filled with, this is a required question. All the questions are required. It's just for fun, but they're still all required.
Idiots.
Okay. My smartphone is filled with music apps, sports highlights, sounds of nature, or foreign language lessons.
Music apps.
I have one music app, Spotify. I have one sports app, the Yahoo Sports app. I don't have sounds of nature. I mean, you can get those in Spotify. I definitely don't have foreign language lessons. I'm terrible at foreign language lessons. Well, I'm going to go with sports highlights just so we can get different results. My t-shirts
I'm not saying
usually.
I might have two apps actually. I think I have Apple's app and then I have Pandora. I did have Spotify for a while, but I went back.
Spotify is so much better than Pandora. Not even close.
I have to disagree there, but anyways,
absolutely not even close. The listeners are going to come back 99-1 on this issue. Pandora sucks.
The problem with Spotify is it kept giving me the same freaking songs. I was like, dude, I want variety.
No, Spotify has everything.
I'm not saying it doesn't have it, but its algorithm is not working for me.
Weird. Okay. My t-shirts usually feature my favorite sports team, a brand name, my favorite band, or a political statement or hashtag. I'm going with brand name.
Yeah, same.
Since all I ever wear is LSAT Demon t-shirts these days.
Yep.
Which one of the following best describes you? I'm a peacekeeper in my family. I have a healthy diet and I exercise regularly. Wow, we know what Ben's going to pick. I am passionate about pop culture, or I like numbers more than words.
Okay, I'm going to go with healthy diet, I guess.
I mean, I am not the peacekeeper in my family, although I have kind of become a parent to my parents.
How the heck does that have anything to do with diet? Like,
passionate about pop culture? No. Like numbers more than words. I'm going to pick that one just because of our previous discussion about science versus
cool. Sounds good.
Dogma. One of my favorite websites is the Wall Street Journal, TMZ, WebMD, or BBC.
That's hard for me to answer in terms of favorite, but I would, gosh, I guess if I had to go to one of these right now, I'd prefer to go to the BBC, maybe.
That's what I'm
See what's
picking
going
too, because I feel like that's the least fake news. Although the front page of the Wall Street Journal is actually really journalism.
on.
The problem with the Wall Street Journal is that the opinion page is absolute trash. But anyway,
Okay, I'll go with Wall Street Journal, just for a variety here.
college should be a great chance to study abroad, a time to question the status quo, the classes you go to between sporting events, or a time to learn how to manage money. I'm
Ooh, I
going with
think
a time to question the status quo.
okay, I would
You
love
can
it.
pick the same on some of ours,
No,
but
I'm
we
gonna
don't have to.
pick a time to learn how to manage money. I think people,
Ideally, that would be
yeah,
fantastic. Instead, what happens in college is your first day there, they offer you 20 different credit cards, get a free t-shirt and a fucking hacky sack to
yeah.
get a credit card that you then max out and pay 30% interest. Which is just so disgusting that they do that. But anyway, I'm a little obsessed with reading true crime novels, going green, following the healthcare debate, or
Ugh,
saving money.
saving money.
Same. If I could only watch one TV show, it would be Shark Tank, ugh, Grey's Anatomy, Dr. Phil, or Law and Order.
If I could only watch one, it would be Shark Tank. Your least
Same.
favorite.
I wish zero of those shows was an option, but
Where
I mean,
did
I
they
suppose
choose
I could
these?
hate watch Dr. Phil. Like that's sometimes kind of entertaining, but I guess I'd have to pick Shark Tank. I would be interested in reading about Alexander Hamilton, the new Jim Crow, mass incarceration in the age of colorblindness, about Cesar Chavez, or the case of Apple versus Samsung.
I'm gonna go with Apple versus Samsung.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
it's all nonfiction, so I would probably be interested in all of these. I'll take the mass incarceration one. Why not? I really
Okay.
hate pollution. Yes. Disease. Yes. Plagiarism. Or even funnier, restrictions on draft picks.
Oh.
Oh boy. Wow. If you could solve one of the world's problems, Ben.
I'm gonna go with pollution because I think if you can solve that, you're gonna solve some of the disease problems, maybe.
Yeah, I'll take disease.
Okay.
Anybody who picks plagiarism, wow. Okay, hall monitor.
That's
Money
funny.
is for investing, providing for loved ones, trips abroad, or concerts. I'm going to go with providing for loved ones. I mean,
That's
it's the
what I was gonna
first
say too.
two. It's both of those. So
Yeah. I feel like you have to invest so you can provide more for the
exactly.
loved ones. But yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. When I'm not studying, I am enjoying the outdoors, getting organized, volunteering, or watching movies. I'm going to pick outdoors. I'm always hiking and playing golf.
I'm gonna say getting organized.
Okay. With a law degree, I could save the planet, protect the innocent, help children, or work with celebrities.
What the if you chose work with celebrities, just stop right there and you're done.
I'm going to pick help children because one of my best friends is a child advocacy lawyer.
With a law degree, I could protect the innocent. I'm gonna go with save the planet.
Great. For spring break, I mean, that's just like, this is such a clear, marketing tool, right? They're like,
Yeah.
hey, they're subtly getting you to, they're subtly sneaking it in there that law school, you could do all these things. You could save the planet. Like,
could you protect the innocent?
God. Okay. For spring break, I would love to visit Wall Street. Come on. Who does that? Participate in a protest, go to spring training, or spend time with my family. I'm a baseball fan. I'll pick spring training. Why not? That's fun.
Okay, I'll spend time with my family.
All right. The best first date would be watching a murder mystery on Netflix. Oh shit. Straight to the Netflix and chill on the first date. Good job, LSAC. Wow. Visiting an art museum, dinner at an Ethiopian restaurant, or volunteering at a Boys and Girls Club.
I'm gonna go with art museum.
I'm picking the same thing. Art museum. That's the shit. My favorite day is Earth Day. The next release date for my favorite brand of sneakers.
What the?
April 15th or the first day of the Olympics.
None of these?
I'm going to pick April 15th because I'm a guy who likes to get my taxes done early.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. That means you're done, right?
Well, no, I like to get my taxes done way before April 15th because then I get to gloat all the way up until April 15th about how my taxes are done.
Yeah.
So I'm picking April 15th.
Okay, I'm going to go with the first day of the Olympics because these guys are motivational on some level.
Sure. Okay. The first section I read in the newspaper is the business, the local crime, the world news, or the sports. I'm picking sports because that's the only thing I would ever look at a newspaper for.
I'm picking world news.
I want the box scores. Okay. I love movies about heists and crime. I love movies with subtitles. I love movies that critique society. I love movies, but the behind the scenes negotiations interest me most. Again, they're like trying to they're going to like give you the false idea that you're going to go to law school and end up making deals, like being a mover and shaker in Hollywood.
Behind some big movie you just saw. Yeah.
Yeah. If you already have connections in Hollywood, then yes, that's going to happen to you. If not, then maybe. I suppose you could go to Yale and use your degree to be in Hollywood.
I don't like all of these, but I'm gonna go with heist and crime. If I have to pick a movie, it's probably gonna be one of those.
I'm picking subtitles. Foreign films are awesome.
Okay.
I'd like my law practice to help businesses, at-risk children, sick people, or nonprofit organizations.
Businesses.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the kids again because my friend Nikki would like me to. Here we go. Submit.
What the heck?
This is the dumbest quiz I've ever seen. I got tax law, Ben, as number one. The reason why I got tax law is because I picked April 15th. Like I knew what April 15th was.
What percentage did it give you? So like
50%.
Oh yeah, it gave me 50% for tax law too. And I did not pick April 15th.
Oh, did you get anything more than 50%?
Yeah, I got something higher than that. I got intellectual property law at 67%.
Okay. There you go.
How did they get that?
I also got sports law and family and juvenile law. It's like, if you picked the ones that are about sports, it's going to tell you, oh, you could do sports law.
Yeah. Sports law. I like watching sports, so therefore I'm going to go into sports law. Who goes into sports law? No one goes into sports law. That's not a thing.
This is an extremely distasteful marketing ploy. This is completely useless.
Civil rights is one of them. Wow, they really want to pander to your aspirations for going to law school as opposed to your reality for leaving.
Did you get 0% on any of them? I did.
Yeah, civil rights for me was 0. Corporate and securities law was 50%. So
Ben,
that's actually something that people could go into.
Bastard. I got 0% on entertainment law.
Same. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. That was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erin, for writing in. Yes.